there in podcast land, thank you for tuning in yet again to another episode of the Yeah, I Said It podcast. We're expressing with our full capabilities until they want us in correctional facilities. Brainchild of my child, I am the dad half of this operation, Ross Cooper. As always, I am rocking with the best, my co-host. Introduce yourself to the folk.
Only way to celebrate a death is with a birth. Um, yeah, well, what up, everybody? Everybody's having a good week. It's been a strange week. A lot has happened. Shout out to Russell Westbrook for being the triple double king. He's probably going to finish with about 200 plus triple doubles, which may never ever be broken. So shout out to him, one of my favorite players. And yep, you know, Drew, sit back, relax. Let's get it.
All right, so we're back. I won't say a long hiatus. Took a little bit of time off because, again, I say this every time we're not there every single week consecutively. While this podcast is the byproduct of our real life conversations, I don't want you guys to just sit and watch us kick it, so to speak. Unless you do, if that's the case, then we'll start doing more podcasts where we just really just sitting there kicking it. But we try to actually give you some substance because we don't just kick it. We are literally taking some of the stuff we talk about in real life and putting some meat and thought behind it. So if we don't have that, I'm not gonna have you guys. We're not gonna have you guys sitting here watching us just kick it about, basically shooting shit. Lots happened. We are not gonna touch everything in the hour that we have. So we cherry picked some things that were kind of pressing, that we thought needed our voices. First up, so if you are in your late 30s to mid 40s and a rap fan, you remember in the late 80s, early 90s, a lot of rappers would be like, peace in the Middle East, peace in the Middle East. And it was like, word, it was a catchy thing to say. And honestly, I don't think a lot of us had context to what was actually being inferred there. Um, as a person that is over 40 and seeing what's still going on and what's recently erupted in between Palestine and Israel, one, I did as much research as I could on this before we took the air. But what I'm also finding is there's a lot of, and I guess this shouldn't come as a surprise, but there's a lot of slant when you go through American media. And the one thing I found interesting is the categorization of Israel as the heroes in this, as the good guys, as the people with moral high ground in a lot of the articles that I was reading. And it's always Palestine, and the terrorist group Hamas. So there's always a lot of media that attach terrorist and terrorist group to Palestine. And when I was doing a few things that came up when I was looking into this, is like, okay, it appears, and I will say this, um, I'm going to speak the truth as I know it based on what I've read. And if anyone that is Jewish wants to try to Nick Cannon us, sure, because I don't know all the ins and outs. There's a lot out there. So this is what I could glean. Based on what I'm reading here, I'm not necessarily sure Israel has the moral high ground that a lot of media outlets make it appear. Right now, last reports I've seen across most media outlets show that there are 35 dead Palestinians, nine of which are children.
12.
12.
12.
And it just and I kept reading because the part that kind of threw me the most was it would appear Israel was given statehood and just was like, yo, y'all got to go. Like, and I'm like, so again, I'm willing to listen and be corrected. Any of our Jewish listeners, by all means, um, because from the American standpoint, as a Black American, obviously, I have my own issues with what goes on right here. And what's scary is a lot of the media I'm reading shows some very dangerous similarities. Some Palestinians being evicted from their homes because, well, we can. A lot of because we said so. And anyone, who knows anything knows that Israel is backed by the US. So it's a very interesting trend there. From what I've read, the police forces in Israel share training tactics with police forces here, and we both know how that can look. But overall, I hope for peace in the Middle East, and I hope there's got to be a way to resolve this without bloodshed. And I get it. There's like 50 years of history saying, nah, not really. You shoot a rocket, I'm gonna shoot a rocket. You take one of mine, I'm gonna take two of yours. But this is ugly. And this is one of those times where I've said, you and I have talked about it. Social media does way more good than harm because if all we had was mainstream media to paint the picture, look, based on the stuff that I've read and I've scoured and looked through the internet and this and that, a lot of it has a pro US, pro Israel stance. But based on what you've seen, articles you've read, where are you at, man?
And it's just I don't see Israel as the good guys here. Because like this whole thing, from what the articles that I've seen started because it was protests from the Palestinians about what you just said, being evicted from their own homes and being mistreated and such and such. So they get beat down. So as a result of that, the Palestinians, as a revenge tactic, start shooting rockets at Israel, and as a retaliation to that, Israel bombs Gaza and kills about 35 people and 12 kids, as we said. So no one looks good. No one
Yeah,
does. And like you said, I wish for a peaceful way that this can be resolved. But like you said, this is a long standing history of just hatred. And I can kind of see a feel for the Palestinians because it's like somebody coming in your house and saying and kicking you out your house and saying it's my house now. Like
they,
how do you
they kind
respond?
of
How do you
Christopher
respond to that?
Columbus the shit, yo.
Hmm?
Kind of Christopher Columbus the shit.
Pretty to the extreme. Like you can't just come to my house and say it's my house and it's just, you gotta leave because I'm the chosen one and you're not. But I mean, I like I said, I wish that innocent people didn't have to die, especially kids and that weren't involved in it. But it's a lot of hatred, and I understand why from for both sides. So I don't see this ending peacefully. So I don't know. I don't know what the solution is to be honest with you, because
I,
I don't because there's a lot of history behind it, a lot of history that we don't understand because we're not there. We're American.
right,
We're dumb Americans, so we don't know what's really going on there unless you actually there. Even
right.
though it's similarities with the Israeli militants and police force treating them like dog shit, but there's a lot we don't know that articles can't even explain because we're not there.
Right. And that's the thing that reading, trying to sift through and be objective and things like that. There are some things that were consistent no matter what I read, and one thing that was consistent is the treatment of Palestinians within Israel is subpar to say the least, from what I read. And it's like, okay, and again, it's going to require a little more research on both of our parts to figure out, because on its surface, like, you mean to tell me I'm the chosen people, you're not, so for that means I'm better than you? Like, that's up there with, well, I'm white, you're not, that means I'm better than you. And it's like, no, 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 absolutely, all the way not. And I believe there might be some religious bend to all of this as well. And I'm like, we sometimes you don't have to know every minute detail of something to understand what's happening is not good. Whenever you have dead children, it's not good. Whenever you have governments beefing, but there are unarmed civilians paying the price, it's not good. And I'm like, sitting here watching it again as a Black American can, watching it from here, it's like, and then seeing footage from live on the ground and social media camera, cell phone pictures. It's like I saw pictures, videos of Israelis cheering that Palestinian buildings were burning. I'm like, is Jay-Z voice. This can't be life. You're like, seriously, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. Because I feel I'm the chosen one, or I feel you're beneath me. This is what we're doing, and literally, you both will die from the same bullet. I try to not I try to counter your sometimes worldview that people are trash. I got this is it's just like this solves what exactly? It's like here, you live over here, and let's call it a day. Like it's not that hard. But again, I'm sitting from over this end. And again, our Jewish viewers, Palestinian, please weigh in the comment section. Educate me. I'm listening because I'm like, from sitting here, like I said, the media outlets I've read make Israel out to be have the moral high ground. And whenever you start tossing around the word terrorist and terrorist group and this and that, and making one side out to be, well, hey, we just living our lives, mind our business. But
No, you're not.
I,
That's not true. But
right, and that's the part. Like,
because you're kind of agitating them to the point where I'm not saying what they're doing is right to bomb people and stuff, but you're kind of pushing them to that point. Like,
like
yeah, treating them like how we get treated in the U.S. basically, but worse. Because because we're not getting kicked out of our homes, at least not theoretically, but but like I mean, it's only so far you can push people until they start fighting back, and this is how they feel that they have to fight back because this has been a war a war for decades,
right.
decades. This conflict hasn't been solved in decades. Like there's still
It's
huge
48.
beef and bloodshed on both sides to the point where it's like I don't think they can sit down and have a reasonable conversation like let's do this, you can have this, we have this, and split because it's like you pushing them. I ain't the killer, but don't push me. You ever heard of that? But hey, I mean, I don't. What do I know, man? What do I know?
And it's like and I fell for it as well because all this time, and this is the importance of doing your own research, trying to understand both sides of something. Because I remember watching this documentary, and it was about Israel, and it was they interviewed some teenagers and young adults, and they were talking about how it's you constantly live in fear, and you want to go out on a weekend and go to a club, and it might be bombed, and I'm like, yeah, that's legit effed up. Like I get it, on our end of it, worst case scenario, you go to the little hole in the wall club, you worried about a fight breaking out. You know what I mean? You worry about somebody might have a hammer on them. So, but I couldn't imagine just going about my everyday life and somebody like just might blow the whole place up. Like that's crazy. But again, told from the Israeli perspective, because based on stuff I read, imagine being Palestinian and you living in your family home, and Israel says, "Oh, by the way, y'all just got evicted." I'm sorry, based on what? Well, this law, which essentially amounts to because we said so. I'd be a little salty as well. Like
A
you can't
little,
just you can't just throw me out in the street. Like says who?
right?
It's,
Like I said, it's bad on both sides. But in my opinion, Israel is not helping itself because it seems like they're just doing things because they're the chosen ones, and you're not the chosen one, so
I
you asked
mean,
out. Like I mean, like what? I said I'm not condoning any of these airstrikes because innocent people are being killed for no reason, kids especially. But
right.
like what?
Listen,
Like I don't know what to do because apparently the law is not on their side. So what do you do besides lash out? So I don't know, man.
I mean,
It's not
listen, I
good on either side. None,
I
none.
got a I got a new rule, man. Listen, because essentially you got civilians dying at the hands of governments, which is pretty much the case in most wars. You got
That's all
civilians.
wars. Yep.
New rule. You know what? If you got beef, the leader of your country fight the leader of my company. Leader of my country. That's how we
Yeah.
should do it from now on.
Have a boxing match to the death.
I mean, based on current leadership in most places, my money's on Putin, but almost everything. But I mean, it's a joke. It's not like, look, this is a whole bunch of people sitting behind desks and rules and pushing buttons and getting other people killed. And it's like, from a huge, because everything someone's going to say to counter this is going to sound very, very, I'm trying to find the right word here. It's going to come from a place that is accepting of things as they are. Well, that's just the way it is. It's just the way it's always been. And I think that's one of the most harmful lines of thinking there could be. This notion of the way it's always been, that's just how it's been. And no one steps back and says, look, um, this ain't cool. Okay, it's been this way for X amount of time, but where's this gotten us? It's like when you ever, if you, I don't know if you have, but whenever I have to try the conversation about equality, about the abolition of capitalism, of being good just for the sake of being good, of it not being connected to going to heaven or karma and good energy coming back. Just be a good fucking human because you can be a good fucking human. Whenever I mention these things, you should see the looks on people's faces. Like, I don't, what do you mean? It's always been this way. You do A, B, and C. Like, and I'm like, where has it gotten us? The notion of doing something for the sake of humanity has escaped a lot of people, and that's scary.
What Slipknot say? Equal equal shit.
Stop, yo. Stop, yo. Good Slipknot reference, by the way. Good Slipknot reference. Everybody out there didn't catch that. That is from one of our favorite metal bands, Slipknot. Love those guys. Um, yeah, people equal shit. But it's just we can do better. Like the notion of not having money, just hey, I'm a doctor. I just want to heal people. I don't need to, make 9 gazillion dollars. I just want to heal people. So this notion that, well, it's been this way all the time. Like, listen, what do you want? What do you want? How do we bring this together?
It doesn't seem hard, but like I said, when there's a lot of bloodshed and innocent people being killed on both sides, it's like it might be really hard to come together in a peaceful way because it's just so much rage and hatred.
Yeah, it is. And it's just, I'm gonna close my final remarks on this is I hope this can be sorted out. And I hope because one of the things I've heard, and I don't know how true it is, but someone I heard mention one of the media talking heads mentioned the one of the reasons America is so hated is because of their undying allegiance to Israel. There's a lot of questions. Like I got a lot of questions on why America backs Israel seemingly on everything. And I'm not pointing a finger. I'm literally just trying to figure out like
Yeah.
why does America back Israel on seemingly everything? Why is Israel part of our defense budget? Why are we sending them planes, weapons, training? I just need to know the why because I don't know the why, but it just raises an eyebrow. And
Yeah.
as soon as second I saw their military and their police and our police share training, hmm,
Explains a lot.
hmm. And I hear Palestinians complaining about Palestinians that live in Israel complaining about police brutality. Hmm. Just interesting little coinky dink there, don't you
Yeah.
think?
Add a little color to your skin and watch what happens.
What did Pac say? The doc you are to really your problems. But I hope this gets worked out with no further bloodshed. And I don't even know what worked out looks like. I hope people stop getting so let me try this way. I hope people stop getting evicted from their homes. I certainly hope people stop getting killed. I especially hope children stop getting killed over the musings and goofiness of adults. Um, moving forward, so we want to touch on as much as we can this hour here. May 9th, May 9th. My favorite white man of all time was born many, many, many years ago, John Brown. If you don't know who John Brown is, look him up. He led attacks against slave owners. His name was mentioned the same breath as General Tubman. That is General Harriet Tubman, for those who don't know who we're referring to. but he ended up getting hanged for his troubles. But the fact that this is what we mean, and I saw something to him to talk to you about it. We're not looking for allies anymore. We're looking for accomplices because allyship can be, yeah, allyship can fade when things get tough. Accomplice means you gonna ride with me. We gonna catch this charge together, whatever it is. John Brown was an accomplice. John Brown was, in the same wanted the same way they wanted Harriet Tubman dead. That says something. That means you really ride with us. You put your life on the line for real. You've given up all semblance of white privilege. Like, you know what? I'm gonna stop this slavery shit as much as I possibly can. So salute John Brown, born May 9th. Like arguably the greatest white man in American history. Not Abe Lincoln, John Brown.
Oh, I'm about to say, you Abraham Lincoln, really? uh,
Mr. I freed the slaves. Mr. I freed the slaves.
Hey, Mr.
You
Abraham Lincoln. I love you, fucking praise Lincoln. Yeah. Shout out to him. Like, yeah. Like I said, probably one of the greatest white allies we ever have, or accomplished, or whatever you want to call it. But that's what you mean when you ride with me, dog. Like, you willing to die and release your white privilege
right.
when the world is your oyster, but you see how somebody else is getting mistreated and you want to help. Props to you, man. Props to you.
Yeah. And I'm looking at the quote because he was found guilty of treason against the state of Virginia. Like let's think about that for a second. Let's because what is frustrating and equal parts frustrating and surprising to me is the amount of white people that exist in this country that pretend slavery was like, what else? It was so long ago. That little thing there. You literally could legally own people. Like I don't think that ever totally sinks in for certain white folks. It was legal to own people. So he was convicted of treason against the state of Virginia because he, wanted to fight against slavery. But upon his hearing his sentence, and I quote, if it is deemed necessary that I should forfeit my life for the furtherance of the ends of justice, and mingle my blood further with the blood of my children, with the blood of millions in this slave country whose rights are disregarded by wicked, cruel, and unjust enactments, I submit. So let it be done. Pretty much, middle fingers to y'all. Right. That is the coolest, smoothest. Fuck your couch.
You may kill me, but you'll never
Right.
kill my soul or my message.
Like, yo.
My name
Now
shall
this
live
is
forever.
now John Brown was hanged December 2nd, 1859. Brown issued these final, seemingly prophetic words in a note handed to his jailer, and this is sad. I, John Brown, am now quite certain that the crimes of this guilty land will never be purged away but with blood. I had, as I now think, vainly flattered myself that without very much bloodshed, it might be done. That is scary. That is a scary thing to say because basically he's saying, like, look, you're not going to get this done. This country's not going to change its ways with a couple people dying. Now, the Civil War, the bloodiest war in American history, I think somewhere around 600,000 lost lives. And we still have not stepped away from a lot of the conditions that precipitated prior to. Can you legally own me? No, you cannot. But this country fought an entire war. The South lost. But
Still
wait,
mad. Still
wait,
mad.
wait, right. I was just about to say, wait, let me remind folks, Virginia below, you lost. Y'all seem to be very upset and forget that. So someone out there flying their Confederate flag today, you lost. One more time. Dear Southerners, you lost. Okay. Um, you know, but after that, there was Jim Crow, there was Black Code, there was segregation. Talk about being sore losers. So 600,000 people died. Y'all still can't let go. So I don't want to think John Brown is right. I
But
don't
he is.
want to, maybe, because George Floyd was one death and it is changing everything. That wasn't massive amounts of bloodshed. That was one death and it shouldn't have happened. Let's be very clear.
Yeah, but there's
But
been many deaths before that we haven't got nearly as the attention or the verdict that we're looking for. This is the first one, and the reason it's the first one is because the world was on fire. So
I
yeah,
mean, the world is changing and it's a lot of people who need to get with it because you're gonna be on the wrong side of history if you're not careful. Um, yeah, you're gonna be on the wrong side of history if you're not careful. But I think John Brown might be wrong. I see his point, especially at the time he made the remark. It was 1859. This is right, before the Civil War started. Bah, bah,
so
bah.
so he was right. It took a lot of bloodshed. A lot of people died in that war just for us to be free.
Free, air quotes, air quotes. But you know, um, the remnants of slavery still exist in a mindset. There are those who out there who really honestly believe that you and I are nothing but dumb niggers. And honestly, from that point to this one, they have nothing to substantiate that, but yet the mentality persists. Do I think it is a prevailing mentality? No. Let me clear something up very, very easily, if some might have been wondering, because I don't know if I've said this openly on this show. I believe far and wide, most white people are not racist at the core.
Yeah, just indifferent, which is kind of being
It,
the same thing.
it is, but it isn't. Like me not caring. Let's make it extreme for a hot second. Me not caring whether you live or die is a lot different than me wanting to kill you. You dig? It's a difference. It is a very, very distinct difference. Like, all
Yeah,
right,
but
me not caring is like, yeah, okay, you good
yeah,
or
but
not,
you wouldn't. That
whatever.
means you wouldn't save me or risk your neck to help me. So if you're not gonna risk your neck to help me or save me, then you're pretty much an enemy. You're a bystander. If you sitting
True.
there if you sitting there watching me getting beat up or jumped or about to be killed, and you just sit there and watch, UFO
Well,
too.
here's the thing: your indifference can be harmless.
But it
Harm
can
is
be, but nah, it's not harmless, especially in this climate now. Like you had to pick a side. You got to.
ideally, but I'm like, my enemy. My first enemy is not the indifferent. My first enemy is not the white person who really could give a shit either way. My enemy is clearly some of the MAGA crowd who are descendants of the Confederate flag wavers and the folks with the white hoods who actually mean me harm.
But
Your
it
indifference is that your indifference doesn't do me
but
harm
it can
directly per se. The person literally trying to drive me behind a truck, Jamesburg in Texas, that is a problem, and that is my first line of enemy.
it
I'm
can
sorry, go
make
ahead.
it can make a difference if you it can make a difference if you're not indifferent, because things can start changing if more white folks were not indifferent and more for the cause, because they run things basically.
Yeah,
So
yeah. If
so
the
more things will get done, and if we have more allies or more accomplished, like you just said, things will get done faster, and the world basically would be a better place because we can see each other's point of view and standards, and it can
true.
be true peace because now we all understand each other. It's like, all right, cool. We one people. I hate to sound like Captain America, but one people, one world.
Now you sounded like a terrorist, yo. You sound like the flag smashers.
Hey,
You sounded like the flag
it's a
smashers. What's
more
good?
good villains, like you said, or that we both say, always have a moral conundrum, and the flag smashers in Captain America were had a point. Like you disregard the people who are already here, but you take care of the people who were blipped out and came back. and you want to close your borders and all this other extra stuff. So it's like I can see where she's coming from.
Yeah, I mean, you can make an argument in a lot of ways, especially in recent history. A lot of the quote unquote enemies that enemies to the state created directly or indirectly. Oh, speaking of which, how's your gas prices doing up there?
It's going up a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit,
Little bit,
just
that
a little bit, a
little
little
more
bit,
expensive on the petrol, eh, mate? A little more
just,
expensive on the petrol.
just a little bit.
Woo, well, the advantage of living in Texas is I'm pretty much sitting on oil. So, gas prices here are pretty much the same. Um, as of this recording, Costco is still sitting at about 2.46 a gallon. Yay, Texas oil barons. Okay, jokes aside though. So speaking of enemies that have been created, the hacker group Darkside. Nice.
That's a
I
cool
ain't
name.
mad at
I
you.
mean,
Right? I ain't
that's a
mad at
cool
you.
name.
You know what I mean? I ain't mad at you. Okay. I see you. Like, make me want to change my major to IT. All right, that's cool. Um, Hacker group Darkside took over a pipeline that runs from Texas all the way up to Jersey and is responsible for 45%, I believe, of the oil on the East Coast. They want 2 mil. All right, so real quick, ransomware is if you got a computer, you may or may not know ransomware. Ransomware is when people hack into your computer, lock it out, and say, "Hey, you are not going to get anything off this computer again until you pay me X amount of dollars." Darkside has done it on a grand scale and said, "Hey, we need 2 mil, or we're gonna release a whole bunch of files." At least that's what again stuff I'm reading, kind of a little bit of conflicting info, kind of conflicting info. But I'm curious, like, so the company that runs the pipeline has shut down the pipeline, which of course could possibly cause a gas shortage. Stop me if you've heard this one. Everyone's running to the gas station to buy all the gas. Wow, I distinctly remember about a year ago, everyone running to the store to buy all the toilet paper. Never mind.
Everyone's losing their minds.
Right. Oh, side note. I've always wanted to ask. I just want to ask somebody, and if you're brave enough, you can comment anonymously. So if you went and bought like 26 sick cases of toilet paper last year, what'd you do with those? Y'all bought all that toilet paper, and I'm still trying to figure out what. Let's see, 26 cases of toilet paper, respiratory virus. Do you just plan on coughing a whole lot and blowing your nose? I don't.
I guess you plan on pooping it out.
I was trying to figure out there's a respiratory disease in the air. Let me go buy all the toilet paper I possibly can. Not vitamin D, not vitamin C, toilet paper. But all right, back on track. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Um, yeah, I'm trying to figure out what. I'm just curious, what files would they release to the public? Now I kind of want them to not pay because I just want to see. Because Darkside, based on what I've read, fancies themselves on some Robin Hood type stuff. They will not hit like they've said they will not hit like hospitals, nonprofits, things like that. Group after my own heart. I like y'all. Got a cool name. That's what's up.
Yeah, them, and anonymous. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So I'm wondering, like, what files do you have that you're holding hostage? Like, is this a straight up pay us, or we're just gonna wipe the whole thing clean? And I don't think that's a problem because I mean, again, I'd have to call my homeboy on this, who's heavy in the IT and cybersecurity. I'm like, if you wipe it clean, then you just start over, like you reprogram and you start over. So, what incriminating files are they holding? But dark side hackers, Robin Hood, steal from the rich, the corporations, strictly for profit. I mean, Could be worse. Could be worse. You know, I'm trying to find my righteous indignation and be mad about this, but you want to cripple for-profit corporations. Help me out. Why should I be mad again?
Cause it's against their they're endangering our way of life and how things are run here, boy.
The for-profit CEOs make 296 times the regular worker way of life. That way of
Yeah,
life.
yeah. American dream, baby. American dream.
Ooh, to be rich. I oh, it is maddening. But I'm look. I just want to know. Listen, what's the files? Like, what's in the files? Y'all got the CEO at the Christmas party doing something illicit. I'd rather know that. Don't pay him. I want to see the dirt. What's the dirt? Let me see the dirt. Let me see the dirt. Um, all right. So Darkside, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. I have the luxury of living in Texas, so there's pretty much oil everywhere. I'm okay. My gas prices are fine. My condolences to you and everyone up north. But moving forward a little bit. I also came across another article, and I'm like, I know what my initial thoughts were. But I'm curious as to what yours are. Um, my initial thought was, is this more fear mongering? But I'll the headline. This came from CNBC. WHO, the World Health Organization, classifies, get this, triple mutant COVID variant from India as global health risk.
Yeah, it's already in the US, apparently.
It's already here?
That's what I
Oh my
saw.
God. Like, I'm gonna have to like walk outside in like a complete hazmat suit in a minute. Like, whoa. Keanu Reeves voice. Whoa.
I mean, if everybody's getting vaccinated, who cares, right?
Well, no, because the vaccine fights a certain kind of
Strain.
variant, which that is not this, because that's a single, but this is a triple entendre mutant version from India.
What is this, the Ant Man? It just grew? Yeah. Like, at this point, man, it's looking like we're at this point, it's looking like we'll never get back to quote unquote normal.
I just and the thing that people have seemingly missed, right? The thing that people have seemingly missed is this. And honestly, sadly, I live in bizarro, at least for me, and this is my own personal estimation. I'm living in what I consider to be bizarro world. Look, if you hang around me long enough, if you watch this show long enough, you understand there are certain hardcore truisms about me. The world's greatest city is absolutely New York. There is nothing that compares to the glorious Empire State. Typically, sensibilities can be measured by what New York is doing, right? In a lot of ways. I am in Texas, and Governor Greg Abbott removed the mask restriction in May. Excuse me, not May, March. I got the M part right. Now, with no mask restrictions, and I can tell you this much: living here, they are taking full advantage. They are taking full advantage of no masks. It's pretty much like it's going back to February 2020, right? By what we've been told by the White House, Fauci, everything, there should be like we should be overrun. Texas should be overrun with cases. There should be people in hospital beds like on their last breath. What actually has happened when I took a look, cases have been steadily declining. So about that, so now it's like, to the objective who question things, who just take a step back and look at what's being told. I don't know if you listen to any liberal or right wing, I mean left wing media, it's all vaccine, 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 vaccine. You got to get the vaccine. You got to get the vaccine. Did you get your vaccine? Go get your vaccine because we need herd immunity. The more people to get vaccinated is going to be better. And we got to convince the people who don't want the vaccine that they need the vaccine. Like, do we? So it's a weird thing where if we getting all these triple deluxe hardcore mutated, like what's next? I'm gonna become a Ninja Turtle. Like, am I gonna wake up Michelangelo one day with nunchucks? So it's like, what good is? I'm really starting to ask the question. Like, so what's the point of getting vaccinated? Like, even if I was thinking about it, like every week is some new strain that we might not be able to protect us. Where you at, man?
At this point, to be honest, I don't care.
Do you know how selfish that sounds? What about your loved ones? What about contaminating other you? It's not just about you. Wait, what's the other one? What's the other one? You can be a carrier without showing symptoms. What's the other one? I'm
Okay,
trying to think.
I still wear masks. I still try to keep distance from people. I mean, I still wash my hands a lot. Still got my vitamin D pills. Drinking some orange juice from vitamin C. I mean, I'm I'm living careful, but I still gotta live life. You know what I'm saying? You gotta enjoy it. Oh, I don't know about you, but I don't want to be cooped up, not doing nothing for the rest of my days. Like that's
Says the
boring.
person that won't go to. That says the person that doesn't go to movies. But okay.
I go other places. I don't care about the movies. I don't care. Especially since they streaming it from home. I don't really care. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject. But
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Mm-hmm.
be back in the movies for Black Widow. I'll be back in the movies. But well, I don't know how I feel about wearing a mask the whole movie, but
You actually do that? But
I,
okay.
I know. I'm saying I don't know if he. I don't know. I haven't been to the movies since COVID started.
Man, I've been to movies like a good 9 times. Like,
Actually, no. I've
yo,
been the last time I went to a movie. I think was when I was down there with you.
right.
When we
What did we
saw
go see? What did we go see?
Tenet. Tenet.
We went to go see 10. I think that was I went to the last movie I saw before all this was Invisible Man, which is actually a better movie than I thought. If you haven't seen it, go see Invisible Man. 4 scoops for real. But we saw Tenet. I've seen Mortal Kombat twice. Like, I've been to the movies to see whatever I want to see. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not. I'm.
but you're in Texas where it's open. You can do anything. I'm not in Texas. It's a little different up here. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah. Now I'm not going. Don't get me wrong. My thing is because some folks are probably going to get their things in a bunch here. I'm not going down the rabbit hole of it's this isn't real. It's made in a lab. I'm not doing all that. I'm simply honestly looking at it from the way you are. Like, listen, I'm going to be as careful as I can. I'm not getting this vaccine. I'm injecting you with shit else.
nope.
And I'm going to live life as best and carefully as I can. But do I like, at least to a certain degree, being a prisoner in this country? No. Like, depending on where you can't go certain places right now. Like, okay, tons of stuff I haven't seen here, but I'm not getting injected with nothing. That's my stance currently. That's the stance I plan to take and keep unless something drastic happens. But no, you're not. I'm not getting injected with anything.
Nope. Syphilis.
Yeah, Tuskegee and Henrietta Lacks and a whole host of other shit that we probably ain't even aware of. No, I'm good. I'm not like. I think I sent you to me with the dude laughing with the drink. Like, when people be like, trust the science. Like, dog, you are the science. Like, you are the experiment right now, and that's cool. Like, but just don't come at me with, oh, you're selfish. And what about, listen, fam, you're not gonna win that one. You not. You don't have science that's gonna back up. You really don't. You have what you're being told versus what we've been shown. There's a complete difference in those. So don't ever come at me on some, what the science shows. No. This is what you've been told.
Right.
There is literally no history here. But I do have history of what we've been shown as far as experimentation on black folks. And yeah, I'm good. I don't honestly think their moral compass just all of a sudden switched like we're gonna save the world. And side note again, not tumbling too far down the rabbit hole, but Biden was asked before he became president, would he release trade secrets and essentially trade secrets and patents on the making of the vaccine, right? After he was elected, he said, "Yeah, absolutely," because if we're going to play there, that is the moral thing to do. Look, if my company is making making a vaccine, I'm not really worried about profits. I'm trying to save the world, right? Right. Not too long ago, he was asked the question again if they're going to relax, trade secrets and be able to mass produce, let other companies make the vaccine. Yes, absolutely. What happened? Moderna and Pfizer stock started to drop sharply. Wow. So if this ain't for profit, if this is altruistic, this is to save the world, why would stock prices drop? Just, just random question. Just thought I'd ask. Just alrighty. As I mentioned, we got a few minutes, so I want to touch on it real quick. As I mentioned, usually the Glorious Empire State makes sense in a lot of ways. So quick shout out to Governor Cuomo. He has reversed the laws that now felons will be allowed to vote upon release in the Glorious Empire State. Now it only affects, from what I read, about 35,000 people. And New York is overwhelmingly a blue state anyway. Like even if all 35,000 of them were all registered Republicans, it's not gonna matter. But in swing states, things like that will matter. And on a larger scale, that is how you start to reverse certain things, because you get convicted of a felony. The very system that convicted you, you now cannot participate in legislatively. I mean, not legislatively, but voting wise, to vote these people out because now you have a felony record. So that's a big deal when it goes nationwide. That's awesome. But shout out to Governor Cuomo and the Glorious Empire State for that. Yeah. Um, Thoughts on that? Anything?
Yeah, props to them. I mean, they seem to be real progressive up there. So if it starts
New
there,
York, baby.
then hopefully it'll go everywhere. Like I said, no more voter suppression. So if you have a family, you're still technically a citizen, and you did your time. You paid your dues, so you should be able to vote and still
Mhm.
live your life as a citizen like everyone else. So
Right.
props to him.
All right. And all right. So we're gonna close this out on a little bit of fun stuff here. We talked about the movies, and there is a slew of stuff coming up. We've got slightly under 10 minutes, so we're just gonna do this real simple. We're just gonna say level of excitement. Steve Austin level of oh hell yeah, or bottom side of FOH. Fuck out of here on level of excitement. So first up, Spiral, the spinoff, the Saw spinoff, Chris Rock, his dad Samuel L. Jackson. I've actually got a Steve Austin all hell yeah level of excitement. Where are you at?
FOH.
Bruh.
I can't. I don't know. I can't take not Chris Tucker, uh,
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock seriously, man. As a I just can't.
I mean, real talk. I think the outtakes might be funnier than the movie. The outtakes might mess around and be funnier than the movie. Like, can we get a movie? Can we get a reel of just the outtakes? Chris Rock, Samuel Jackson. The outtakes alone might be funny. I get what you're saying, but Hollywood forgot how to make a horror movie. So at least this isn't a true horror
Man,
movie per
I'm about to
se,
say
but
this is like pigs are being killed. This isn't a horror movie. This is a comedy.
you're gonna get us back. Who raised you? Oh wait.
Let's keep it real. This ain't a horror movie. This not gonna make me shook to go outside. It's gonna make me feel happy inside. Rhyming accidentally. I
Oh
got
my god.
bars. I got bars.
Bars. Oh my god. Oh my god. You can't take you any. Oh god. Okay. All right. Okay. Level of excitement for Carnage. For me, it's too soon to call. The trailer wasn't really moving. I'm wavy hand. I'm wavy hand. I'm not all hell yeah. I'm not FOH. I'm wavy hand. Let me see a couple more. Let me see a couple more trailers. What you got?
I'm hell yeah. Yeah. Nah, you got Carnage. The first movie was good, so now you have Carnage. Like
Wait. Hold up. This might change your thought though. It's PG-13.
the first one
You
was
still?
PG-13.
All right. All right. All right. Okay.
I mean,
Okay. I'm wavy hand. We'll wait wavy hand on that one. Fast and the Furious. Oh hell yeah, wavy hand. FOH. Where you at?
FOH.
I'm wavy hand because I have not been a follower of the franchise, and I saw one of them, and there were a couple of parts where like, dog. So y'all just said completely forget the laws of physics, huh? We just somehow a car is gonna jump out of a building, do a double barrel roll, jump through a flaming hoop on fire, and land on the side wheels on the side of a mountain. And no one in the making of the movie thought that might be a bit much. Okay. So
Nope.
wavy hand. I'm not FOH because, like, yo, who doesn't love a good action movie with some crazy action sequences? But wavy hand. The new Suicide Squad. Where you at?
They will not. They will not. I repeat, they will not rip me off again. How much I paid for them tickets for the first movie, and that movie was absolute hot garbage, freaking alligator shit, man. But
You would be mad.
FOH, man, FOH. Maybe if I see a better trailer, maybe. But for right now, it's FOH.
I'm between wavy hand and all hell yeah. I'm like, I need to see another trailer because you replace Crocodile Dude with a fake looking shark dude. And I'm like, but you know what? Officially, wavy hand. Yeah, well, yeah. Let me see a couple more trailers. Couple more trailers. Um, Next phase of Marvel. Marvel released a trailer and they're pretty much trying to just take a big steaming dump on everything DC is showing. DC can't catch a break, yo. They just released the Snyder cut. Everybody's like, yo,
That was
DC,
dope. Yeah, that was
right?
dope.
DC, that's what's good. And then Marvel comes and just all over them. Oh yeah, we got these next 12 movies coming out in 3 years. Just shit it all on them. Like, damn, dog, did you really have
Yeah,
to do that?
a Black Superman. That's what DC's doing. Black Superman, because that's what we want to see. A Black Superman.
I mean, we got a black Captain America. Why not?
We have like DC has way more black characters. We don't have to blackwash everything, man.
Oh boy, that. Wait a minute. Did you just go Caucasian for a minute there? That was such a Caucasian thing to say. People
Bro,
were mad
I'm
at.
just saying,
People were
like,
like,
let
really?
let Superman be Superman. We have our own character. That's what I'm trying to say. We have our own black
Oh,
characters. You got
let
Static Shock. You
Superman
got what?
let Superman stay white, my brother.
I
Is that
mean,
what you saying, my brother?
he is the symbol of America.
Thought that was Captain America, my brother.
I mean, that's DC's version of Captain America, except more powerful. He wears red, blue, and then he's white. So there you go, red, white, and blue.
Yo, I can't. I can't. Oh my god, I cannot. Oh, okay. So yeah, but next phase of Marvel, honestly, I'm wavy hand. I'm on fire about. I'm all hell yeah about Doctor Strange. I'm all hell yeah about Black Panther 2. I think everybody's on fire about Black Panther 2. The other stuff, I'm just Eternals and I need trailers. I need trailers. I'm just, and I've said this before. We will not fully appreciate how special '08 to 18 was until it's over. And oh, I'm on fire about the new Spider-Man. That's it. So out of 10 movies, like three of them, and I'm looking forward to Black Widow, but Black Widow isn't in the phase per se, I don't think. But that's a standalone, that's a one-off. But I'm on fire about those. But that's about it. Where you at? On fire? Yeah, where you at overall?
um, I think I'm on fire. I'm ready for it. Like the movies you just named. Got to see more trailers for the other stuff,
Mhm.
like the internals and all that. I'm not familiar with them yet, but
Right.
that's what YouTube's for. So I can be informed. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I don't think is Blade part of the phase. Is that
No,
or
I
is that
don't.
the next phase?
Oh, I'm on fire for Blade. Good point. I'm on fire for Blade.
Even
They
though it's
better give that.
PG-13, which is pissing me
Wait,
off.
are you sure about that? Has it been confirmed?
I think it's been confirmed as PG-13. Last time I seen it, I don't know. I'll have to look
I'll
again. Don't quote me on that. I'm saying that's the last thing I saw was it was circulating that was PG-13. I hope the guy that is not, because that will please
Yeah,
don't
you're
screw
gonna
this up.
you're yeah,
Don't
you
screw
need
this
to
up.
give that the Deadpool and Logan treatment. You really need to get
Yes,
at the Deadpool and Logan treatment.
yes. You have the actor
But
for it. Perfect actor.
Mahershala Ali, and I'm like, yo, his training program's gotta be crazy because I don't think he's gonna come in like as slim as he is. I'm sure they're gonna put some size on him.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think he's perfect for it. That was a great. That's the one thing I think one of the most underrated pieces of Marvel in general is the casting job they do. Like, do they have a couple of screw ups? Yes, but by and large, the casting is spot on. Like, it's spot on. Like, I know it's not Marvel, but we grew to love it. But officially, Hugh Jackman was a bad casting job. Like, Hugh Jackman was a bad casting job. Now we've grown to love him. He's grown into Wolverine. He'll never be anything other than Wolverine in his entire career. But officially, he's a bad casting job. Wolverine is like 5'5".
If that.
like Wolverine is like 5'5". That's why he's a Wolverine. Like, it goes into like, because an actual Wolverine is not a huge animal. It just will fuck you up. Like, so Wolverine is actually 5'5", but we grew to love it. But Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, perfect. Quietly switching out to Mark Ruffalo for Hulk, perfect casting job. So we grew into it. I thought, we talked about this. I thought, truth be told, I thought Triple H would have been a better Thor, but shout out to Chris Hemsworth. He's grown into the role. He's absolutely
I'm
Thor.
saying it's perfect though. I can't.
Like I said, I thought Triple H would have been a better version, but what do I know? But all right, run it back recap, folks. Got to pardon me. I'm actually getting my workstation ready to plug into corporate America. Run back recap off the top. Legit peace in the Middle East. I hope this gets resolved or calmed down without further bloodshed. So peace in the Middle East. Shout out to the greatest white man that ever lived in American history, John Brown. Darkside. All right. I still say release the files. Don't pay him. Let him release the files. I want to see the dirt they got. Um, I just can't with the new triple mutant version of COVID. This point, if you're gonna get me, you're gonna get me, dog. I'm not living my life indoors and wearing two masks. I'm just not. Like, I'm just not. If you mad at me about that, all right, be mad. Shout out to Cuomo and the glorious Empire State, the world's greatest city, for restoring voting rights. And overall, I'm excited about some of the new movies. Some of them just like, wave your hand. There's nothing I really like FOH that I can think of, but wave your hand on a few. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Saw. We ain't seen no blood in a while. I'm looking forward to Saw. I'm looking forward to the new Suicide Squad. Wave your hand, but overall, I think they're gonna do. They're not gonna blow this twice. They're not gonna do a Fantastic Four and blow this twice. Like, Fantastic Four actually blew it 3 times, but they're not gonna do that. They're not. And James Gunn did it. That's the thing I'm confident about. James Gunn did it. Same dude did Guardians of the Galaxy. So if you like Guardians of the Galaxy, you're probably gonna like Suicide Squad. But all right, your recap, sir.
Yeah, peace in the Middle East, please. Yes. Shout out to John Brown. You a real one. You my ninja, man. My ninja. Darkside hackers. Good. Yeah, I'm with you. Release the files. Even if they pay you, still release it. uh, I'm not really scared of this new variant. Like I said, I still live carefully, wash my hands, do all that, etc. and stuff. So I'm not going to be scared to go outside and all that extra stuff. But I know most people are, so it is what it is. But shout out to New York for doing what needs to be done, getting more voters out there, quote unquote, and getting people their rights back after they served their time and did what they had to do. And movies, I'm in the middle and total. Like, some movies I'm really excited for. Some I'm just like, I don't really care. So, but these next couple of years, hopefully, there should be some good ones, some gems, especially from Marvel. So, yeah,
Well, there you have it, boys and girls. Actually, we have enough stuff to truly keep this going for the next hour. We ain't gonna do that to you. We're gonna hold back a little bit. I can't wait to give you a quick give you a quick preview. We got some racist shit to talk about, man. We're gonna be tearing down some monuments, and we going after the biggest monument there is. So we're gonna talk about that. As I said, we will finally, I'm gonna stop teasing it. We will finally talk about some why this country, America, has not been brought up on war crimes, all crimes against humanity. Not war crimes. I don't know about war crimes, but definitely crimes against humanity. And a really good hip hop debate to which my wonderful son is going to be mashed on terribly. Um, it was written versus 444. Shout out to grown man rap. But to that end, we thank you for tuning in. Always, we love doing this. Great to be back in the chair. See you same bad time, same bad channel. Thank you for tuning in to the Yeah I Said It podcast. Peace.
yeah.